The first sign that something was wrong wasn't the silence. It was the map. I had driven that road dozens of times. Route K-17, a forgotten stretch of highway that cut through barren land between cities that barely deserved to be called cities. It was empty, predictable, and most importantly, fast. No traffic, no distractions, just asphalt and horizon. That night, though, my GPS glitched. The screen flickered once, like a dying pulse, before recalibrating. A new route appeared, shorter. It claimed 5 minutes saved. 5 minutes. That was all it took. I turned off the main road onto a narrow strip of cracked pavement I had never noticed before. The air felt heavier there. The sky above dimmed unnaturally fast, as if I had driven into a pocket of evening that didn't belong to the rest of the world. The further I drove, the more wrong everything felt. No wind, no insects, no sound except the low hum of my engine. Then the road ended. Not gradually, not with warning signs or barriers. It simply stopped. The pavement dissolved into dirt, and ahead of me stood a structure that shouldn't have been there. A building, tall and windowless, made of a material that looked like metal but didn't reflect light properly. It absorbed it. I checked my GPS again. It showed nothing. No road. No building. No me. Just a blank grid. That was when I should have left. Instead, I stepped out of the car. The air outside was colder than it should have been, biting against my skin despite the warm night I had left behind. The building had no visible doors, but as I approached, a section of its surface shifted. It didn't open. It parted, like liquid reorganizing itself into a rectangular gap. Inside was darkness. And something else. A faint glow, deep within. I don't know why I went in. Curiosity, maybe. Or something pulling me forward. The moment I crossed the threshold, the entrance sealed behind me. Not with a sound. Not with movement I could track. It was simply gone. I turned around and saw only a seamless wall. No seam. No crack. No way out. My heartbeat quickened. Hello. I called out. My voice didn't echo. It felt absorbed. Then a voice answered. Finally. I spun around. She stood at the far end of the corridor, partially illuminated by a soft, pulsing light embedded in the walls. She looked human. Too human. Dark hair, pale skin, eyes that seemed to reflect more light than they received. She wasn't surprised to see me. If anything, she looked relieved. You took longer than expected, she said. What? I stammered. Who are you? Where is this? She tilted her head slightly, studying me like a puzzle she had already solved. That's not important right now, she replied. What matters is that you're here. I took a step back. No, what matters is how I get out. Her expression didn't change. You don't. Panic hit me then, sharp and immediate. I rushed back to where the entrance had been, running my hands along the wall, searching for any imperfection. Nothing. It was smooth, cold, and unyielding. There has to be a door, I shouted. There was, she said calmly. It just doesn't exist anymore. I turned to her, anger replacing fear. What is this place? She hesitated. For the first time, something like uncertainty crossed her face. It's the containment system, she said slowly. A kind of trap. For what? Her eyes met mine. For you. The words didn't make sense. I've never been here before, I said. You've got the wrong person. No, she replied softly. I don't. I shook my head. You don't even know me. I know enough. Like what? She stepped closer, the light revealing more of her features. Perfectly symmetrical, almost unnaturally so. You weren't supposed to find this place, she said. Not yet, but the system it adapts. It pulls in candidates. Candidates for what? She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she asked, "Do you remember making a decision recently? Something small, insignificant." I thought back. The GPS. The turn. "I took a shortcut," I said. She nodded. "That wasn't your choice." I laughed, but it sounded hollow. Of course it was. I saw a faster route, I took it. "No," she said firmly. "You were guided." "By what?" "My phone." "By the system." I stared at her. "You're insane." "Am I?" she asked quietly. Then she gestured to the corridor around us. "Does this feel normal to you?" I didn't answer, because it didn't. She began walking, and after a moment I followed. "What's your name?" I asked. She paused. "Lena." I know," she interrupted. That sent a chill down my spine. "How long have you been here?" I asked. She looked ahead, her expression distant. "Time doesn't work the same way here," she said. "But if I had to guess, years." Years. I stopped walking. "That's impossible." "Is it?" She turned back to me. I thought the same thing at first. We entered a larger chamber. The walls were lined with panels, each glowing faintly with shifting patterns, symbols or data I couldn't understand. At the center of the room stood a structure resembling a chair, surrounded by thin, wire-like tendrils. "What is this?" I asked. "This is where it happens," she said. "Where what happens?" She took a deep breath. "The system is designed to study human decision-making," she explained. "It isolates individuals, removes external variables, and observes how they behave under controlled conditions." "Like an experiment?" "Yes." "And you're part of it?" She nodded. "And now," she added, "so are you." I backed away from the chair. "No. I'm not staying here." "You don't have a choice." "There's always a choice," I snapped. She looked at me with something like sadness. That's what I thought too. Days, or what felt like days, passed. Sleep came in fragments. Hunger never did. The building provided sustenance somehow, nutrient-rich liquids that appeared in recessed compartments along the walls. There were no windows, no clocks, just the soft, rhythmic pulse of the structure itself. And Lena. At first, I didn't trust her. I thought she was part of it. A handler, a liar. But over time, I realized something. She was just as trapped as I was. She told me about her arrival. A different road. A different mistake. But the same result. One wrong turn, she said quietly. That's all it takes. We explored the building together. It was larger than it seemed, rooms connecting in ways that defied logic, corridors looping back on themselves. Sometimes we would walk for hours and end up exactly where we started. Other times, doors would appear where there had been walls before. "It changes," Lena explained, "based on us. On us. Our thoughts. Our decisions." That made no sense. But nothing here did. One day, we found a room we hadn't seen before. Inside was a screen. The first real screen. It flickered to life as we entered. And it showed me driving on Route K-17. Before the turn. "This is impossible," I whispered. "It records everything," Lena said. "Why?" "To understand." The video shifted. It showed me hesitating before taking the turn, replaying the moment from different angles, zooming in on my face, my eyes, my hands on the wheel. "It's analyzing you," she said. "No," I muttered. "It's judging me." The more we explored, the more we understood. This place wasn't just observing us. It was testing us, presenting choices, small ones at first, which path to take, which door to open. But gradually, they became harder, more personal. One time, we found 2 exits. One labeled safe, the other unknown. What do you think? I asked. Lena stared at them for a long time. It's never that simple, she said. Maybe this time it is. She shook her head. It never is. We chose safe. The door led us back to the same room we started in. The unknown door vanished. Another time, we were separated. I found myself in a room with a single button. Above it, a message. Press to continue. I didn't press it. Hours passed. Nothing changed. Eventually, I gave in. The moment I pressed it, the room dissolved. And I was back with Lena. She looked at me. You pressed it, she said. You didn't, I asked. She shook her head. I waited. What happened? Nothing. The system was learning. And so were we. One night, or what felt like night, we sat in silence. I think it's trying to find something, I said. It is, Lena replied. What? She hesitated. Someone who makes the right decisions. And what happens then? Her voice dropped. They get out. Hope. Dangerous. Fragile hope. But no one has? I asked. She looked away. Not yet. From that moment, everything changed. Every decision felt heavier. Every choice mattered. We began to overthink everything, second-guessing ourselves, arguing. You always rush, Lena snapped one time. And you never act. I shot back. Because acting blindly is what got us here. Or maybe it's what gets us out. The tension grew. The system noticed. Of course it did. Then came the final test. We entered a vast chamber unlike any we had seen before. At its center were two identical doors. Between them, a panel lit up. A message appeared. Only one may leave. My chest tightened. What is this? I whispered. Lena didn't answer. She didn't need to. We both understood. It's a trick, I said quickly. It has to be. Or it's the end, she replied. We don't know that. But we do know one thing, she said, turning to me. What? Only one of us is getting out. Silence. Heavy. Crushing. We can't trust it, I said. We can't ignore it either. There has to be another way. There isn't. She stepped toward one of the doors. Wait, I said. She stopped. If one of us has to go, I continued. It should be you. She looked at me, surprised. Why? Because you've been here longer. You deserve it. She shook her head. That's not how this works. Then how does it work? She didn't answer. We stood there for what felt like hours. Neither of us moving. Neither willing to choose. Then Lena spoke. I think I understand now, she said. Understand what? The system. She turned to face me fully. It's not testing individuals, she said. It's testing connection. I frowned. What do you mean? It's been pushing us toward this moment, toward a choice that defines who we are. And the right decision isn't about survival. She walked past me, toward the space between the doors. Lena, what are you doing? She stopped. Then she smiled. A small, sad smile. Making the only choice that matters. Before I could react, she stepped forward, not toward either door, but into the space between them. The floor beneath her shimmered. The walls pulsed violently. Lena, I shouted, rushing forward. But I couldn't reach her. An invisible barrier stopped me. She looked at me one last time. You were never supposed to be here, she said softly. But maybe that's why this works. What are you talking about? Go, she said. The doors behind me slid open. Both of them. No, I yelled. I'm not leaving you. You don't have a choice, she replied. For the first time, you don't. The room began to collapse. Light fractured. Reality twisted. Lena. And then, darkness. I woke up in my car. The engine was still running. The road stretched out ahead of me. Route K17. My GPS blinked, recalculating, then stabilized. No alternate routes. No strange paths. Just the road I knew. I looked around frantically. No building. No dirt road. Nothing. Had it all been a dream? Then I noticed something. In the passenger seat, a faint imprint, as if someone had been sitting there. And on the dashboard, a message. Not from my GPS. Not from any device I recognized. Just 2 words. Test complete. I never saw Lena again. But sometimes, when I'm driving alone at night, my GPS flickers. Just for a second. And I wonder if somewhere, somehow, she's still there, waiting for someone else to take one wrong turn.